Hello students, welcome you all on YourPedia panel, and first of all congratulations to all who get the call from BARC, Baba Atomic Research Center. So my dear students, this side Mukesh sir from the computer science department, and as you know that they just call a lot of numbers for the CSE student also. Now my dear students, is one confusion is how to start the preparation for BARC. See my dear students, if I generally talk about BARC, it is something different from the other interviews like ISRO, DRDO or NTPC or IOCL. Fine my dear students. So keep in mind, in BARC specifically for the CSE students, they what is the pattern for BARC interviews? They just pick one particular topic from the complete basics things, and then they will deep dive into that topic. And the good point is they will circulate that particular topic in different domain. Fine. So always keep in mind. So if I talk about the BARC, you have to try to read as depth as possible, my dear students. And always keep in mind, if I talk about the particular subjects for BARC, you can see here the most important subject or often asked question from these subjects only, that is design and analysis of algorithm. Computer network is one of the most important topic, my dear students. Then operating system, then digital logic and computer organization and architecture. Don't skip the subject digital logic and COA. And then lastly is mathematics. Sometimes they may ask you the question related to DBMS also, or some Unix commands, or maybe they ask you some overview about the AI and ML. But keep in mind, my dear students, the most important subject is network, computer organization, digital logic, and by default we just considered the core subject, that is data structure and algorithm is one of the fundamental subject. Now my dear students, and again don't skip the subject mathematics. Keep in mind, mathematics is very important. Sometimes they may ask you to draw the graph for particular functions. Most of the times they ask like you need to draw the graph. Now my dear students, talk about like these fundamental subjects. Now I want to give you a sample set of questions in which manner the actual BARC interview is there. Like see, they can start the topic like what is data, what do you understand by the data. You know that data and information are basic to terminology, so they may ask you what do you understand by data and how it is different from information. So many a times students know what the algorithm is, students know which type of different algorithms, but they are unable to define this small terminology. So keep in mind, my dear students, you have to stick with the proper definition of each and every subject. Whenever they are asking about define these particular term, then you should be specific with the definitions only, instead of just replying with an example, sir I want to say something like that. No, that is not the right answer. Now the second question related to this is how is data. Now first question is what is data. Now the second is how data stored in our memory. What are the difference between primary and secondary memory? So see the pattern of the questions. They start with the data and now they are asking about their storage. With the storage, they are again moving towards the hardware part, that is the primary and secondary storage. Next, okay, you are going to store data in 0 and 1 forms, that means positive numbers. Then tell me how you are going to store the numbers in the negative numbers. Fine. And why? Like explain 2's complement representation. We know that why we use 2's complement representation to store data to store the negative data. How is a small data type value stored in a large data type value? So you know that in floating point number system and in general number system, we know that we have zero extension, we have signed extension concept. So again they ask you how. Suppose you are going to store the data that is of type int, float, char, double and all this stuff, then how you are going to store or small data type stored into a large data type values, means how you can store the sort or the char into int. What is the actual method which we are going to implement in our systems. Then what is the difference between signed and unsigned numbers and how they are stored in memory? As usual, we already covered this one. What happened at the hardware level? That is very important question. What happens at the hardware level when you assign a variable in C, that is int a equal to 5? It means we know what do we mean by int a equal to 5, but we don't know what is the meaning at hardware level. So these are the simple problems. And next, how does endians affect the data storage? So which endian method is good? Little endian, big endian, which endian method, and how these policies are going to be implemented? What role the compiler play in converting the high level data type into machine level? How? See, these are the basic COA question or basic fundamental questions, and now it the same thing it is going to switch to the next subject, that is compiler. How does the operating system manage memory? Because we are going to store the data, then how data is stored, how the memory is managed by the operating systems. And once you give the answer related to that, then how memory is actually divided logically, that is a code segment, heap segment, data segment, stack segment. So they may ask you the question related to these segments also. Now just after, see the question, when transmitting data over a network, how is data converted into signals? Now till now we are just discussing about zeros and ones. Now he just he just does a flip, and now he asking the question related to the computer network. Fine. So how does a computer handle signed, unsigned data during network transmission? See the beauty of this question, my dear students. So it is saying that how a computer handles signed versus unsigned data during transmissions. Next, again, what is the role of encoding schemes? Why we do encoding? What is the need of doing encoding? We have different encoding. Which one is good? Which one is bad? What are the characteristics of these encoding schemes? Explain how error and detection. Suppose if you are sending the data. Now, if error happens, how you are going to find the error? How you are going to detect the error? And then again, how we are going to store, how the data types like integer, varchar stored internally, and why they are like easy or optimized for retrieval. So in this way, my dear students, again they just ask about the fragmentations and distributed system. So my concern is, my dear students, you can see here, just by taking the word of data, he is trying to cover computer network, operating system, DBMS, computer organization, as well as the digital logic. So in that way, my dear students, you have to prepare, you have to start with the basic fundamental things and then deep dive into as much as possible. And generally in BARC interview goes at least 30 minutes, my dear students. So keep in mind, be positive at that time if your interview is stretching. Fine. So you know that YourPedia is the largest platform which already provide the different modules for these type of interviews. So we already launched the BARC dedicated interview modules. So you can just contact to the executive of YourPedia, and if you think that yes, that is the right pattern, and you think that you don't know the answer, you need some guidance, you need some assistance, then you can contact to YourPedia team. Thank you.